everyone, it's Renee here again, and today I'd like to go back and show you a few more things you can make with the Mix and Match Mini Journal Digitals. We started making one together a while ago now. I'll show you that one. And we had a few little places in here where we could still put some things, little tucking bands, and probably some corners in here somewhere too. If you haven't seen the video where we made this, I'll pop the links in the description box below and you can go and check that out. So there's a few small places where we can put a few extra things, and since I made that first video I've made a couple of other things using the kit that I wanted to show you, like these little pockets with the tags in, and a little journaling card. This is another pocket with the little tucking corners on there, and this one's another little pocket. And then I've also made this, which is sort of a fold out journaling little, I don't know what you call it, a strip maybe, which I just think is cute, and that can just get tucked in somewhere. I've made this one double-sided. I've got another little book that I made which has a few of these bits and pieces in, but I've also put some of the envelopes in using the bands to stick them in. So it was the tucking bands here, which I've just cut and used it to stick the envelope as sort of a little additional page. And then I've put some of the pockets in. So when I've made the pocket, I've left a little flap on the edge, and when I'm gluing in the pages, oh hello pug, got a visitor, I've glued that in, so I can show you how to do that one as well. Excuse me. Cuddle? Come over quick, cuddle, and then I've got work to do. Yes. Alright, sorry, that was a puggy interruption. I'm sure there'll be more of those. So in this I've got, like I've made these little journaling cards that go in these little built-in pockets, and what else? I've made these little page tabs. There's another one of the fold-out journaling strip. And I like these in a sense that you could just hold it in your hand and flip it open. You know, have some journaling on there and flip it open, keep going, and go the other way, back the other one, on the other side. Anyway, I really think they're very cute. And that's a little half pocket with a little card in. And yeah, so I have a lot of fun making these, and each time, sorry, my cat's just wobbled everything. Each time that I make them a little bit different, or add a little bit different. So let's make some of this stuff together, shall we? Let's start with me showing you how I've done these pockets. And you can see that I've made them a little bit different size each time. I've got no real method for the size that I want them to be, just so that they'll fit in the book. That's pretty much how I do it. So I'm just going to start with one of the pages, and I'm just going to decide which do I want to be the pocket for this particular project. And I really do like this lace strip, so I'm just going to go with these two up the top. So to start with, let's use a ruler and a knife. I'm just going to trim these apart. Right, so before I trim anything else off here, I'm going to decide on the size that I want. So if I'm using it in this journal that we've made, I might just open a page, hold it over and see, do I want it to be the full width? Do I want it to be a bit smaller? Is it going to be something that I'm building into a journal that I'm making, or is it an already made one that I want to be able to tuck in something like a corner? And all that will factor into what size I'm going to make it. So let's make this one to fit in one of these tucking bands. So I want it to be short enough to go in there. So if I just put this off to the side, I probably want, let's use a pen, want it to be, you know, there-ish by there-ish in height. And for width, using this edge, I'll probably just make it a little smaller widthwise. So I'm just using it as a rough guide while I'm deciding how I'm going to fold this to put it together. So first things first, I like the lace, I want it on the edge, so I'm going to fold this over so that the lace pattern is right against the edge, like that. Now because I put this mark on this side, I'm just going to visually transfer it to the other side, because approximately that amount of space there is what we want to remove. We're not going to cut it off, remove it, we're going to fold it, remove it, and hide it on the inside of the pocket. Or if it was going to be put it in as a page, we'd leave that on and use that to glue it into the journal. So now when I turn it on the other side, I don't want this here either. So I'm going to fold this side up against my ruler here. Fold that over. Alright, so in order to make this disappear, I'm now going to put a little strip of glue be handy if I had a piece of scrap paper. One moment. Oops. Right, I'm going to just pop this little piece of scrap paper here, so I'm not just getting extra glue all over it, and I just want to try and glue that little strip I have folded. So that will stick there. And then I also want to glue this little strip here. And fold this that way. So essentially what we're doing is we're just covering that little strip with folding and gluing. So once that's done, my new fold at the edge is now here. So we now have a nice edge with the lace on one side and the colour on the other side, and we've hidden the little middle strip. So next I'm going to trim down the sides. We don't need this much overhang. And I'm also going to trim the bottom on a bit of an angle, like this. And this doesn't need to be as long either. So this is the side I need to go on for the colour. So what I'm going to do is get a little mat. Oh, I don't know how many of you saw my last video where I was poking the scoring tool through the little folios I was making. And I think it was, like a lot of you suggested, that I was using something that was too soft underneath the score tool. But I also think it's because I was pressing too hard. So I've had to get a new score tool, and I will be using this piece of felt, which is a thinner, harder surface. So I'm just going to, for ease of folding, score the edge of this line and this line. And then I'm going to fold that in, fold that one in, and these two bottom ones, fold those in. Okay, let's just close it up and make sure everything aligns before we start gluing. Yep, that works. Also, before I start gluing, because I'm going to have a little cutout spot, and I don't want the inside of my pocket to be white, I'm also going to glue a little strip of colour over there, about yay big. I'm guessing that's about 3 centimetres ish, 3.5. So I'm just going to get a piece of scrap paper for gluing. Glue across. And place this near the top. Like that. Right, we actually wanted it shorter than that, so we can trim that off. Bottom. So we actually want the bottom to be here-ish. So, fold that back like that. Angle. Angle. And don't need as much. Okay, so on this side I want to glue this flap over. Like this. And then also on the bottom, glue this flap up like this. And then on the opposite side, we need to put the glue on the other side. So let's get another piece of scrap. Glue on the bottom, glue on the side. Now I have a thin hole punch, so I can punch this after I've glued. But if you do not have a thin hole punch, like this one, you'll want to punch out your hole now before you glue this shut. And glue. Make sure that lines up alright. Pressing. So once it's glued, you should be able to open it and see inside, and nothing's glued that shouldn't be. So because I want this to be the front, I'm going to pop my hole punch in. Now I'm just eyeballing where the centre is. Eyeball this. And last but not least, a little ink. And make sure you get in your curve to really make that stand out. Like that. And then you can pop a tag in it. Ta-da! Now, if you wanted to, let's make sure it fits before we get too excited. Where was a band? Right, there we go. In you go. Yep, we're good. Now, we could also pop, maybe on the back, because it's a bit plain, a couple of these little corners, or one, and just pop a ticket or something in there to make it a bit more interesting. I've got these ones here. Let's use this lace one because it matches the other side. So I'll just quickly pop that out. Okay, a quick score. Little fold. Right, and whoops, decide where we want to put it. Just there, sounds good. Bit of glue. Now I'm still printing all of these on just standard 80 GSM copy paper, and I find that's thick enough for what I want to use this for. Alright, so now we've got a little pocket on the back. Need a little ticket or something to put in there. I wonder if I have one already made. Alright, so I might use one of these tickets, and what I'm going to do is stick it onto this so it's got some colour on the back, and then cut them out together. So a little bit of glue. And then cutting out. And poke that in the corner. Like that. Might even want to stick something else on here. Let's decorate it with something else. One of the elements maybe. What else is on this sheet? Actually, let's go this nice big dark brown specimen label. Just like that. I like it. More glue. And ta-da! Cute! I've got a little tag in there. Now, if you didn't want to do a tag, but you wanted to do a journaling card, like lost everything, had one here somewhere. aha, like this, you need to make it to be able to fit in. And this one's really simple, so let's do one of these together as well. This time we're just going to cut all of the excess off. And I'm also going to separate them into two bits. And remove this little central strip because we don't need that. Going to put glue on one of them and then I'm going to glue them together. Oops, these glue sticks just mush. I think it's a bit too warm in my house maybe. Although I'm one of those people who like it to be really hot in the house all the time. My husband likes it to be really cold. So of course it's really hot all the time in our house. Now I'm not going to stress too much about making it perfect because we're going to trim it down to make sure it fits in our pocket. Just wiping that excess glue off because it's going everywhere. Where is this? Let's get some of that glue out. Alright, now we really should let it dry before we cut it because every time I try and cut it when it's wet with my blade I end up just tearing the edge. Although we could just cheaty and do it with scissors and hope I get it straight enough. Maybe we'll do that. So I'll pop it over the top of the pocket to see just how much we're going to need to trim off. So about there. I'm just going to pop a little fold there. Could probably get away with doing it with a ruler. Let's see if this will work. Please don't tear, please don't tear. Thank you. That worked. And how deep do we want it to go in the pocket? Want it to go all the way in, and maybe we'll put one of those little tabs on the top. That sounds like a good plan. So we need it to come about 1 centimetre shorter. I'm going to need to trim a little bit off this edge too. Trim. And just take a little bit off this end. Like that. And then this end. Like that. Alright, so going to re-ink around the edge. Alright. So to make the little page tabs, let me find one. I've got one somewhere. How did my desk get this messy so fast? Alright. So to make these little page tabs, all I've done is glue a couple of pieces of the pages together, or any of the elements really. Could do these. Oh, come out. I've got the little frames. They would work. Any colourful pieces of the digi would do this job. Alright, so I've got this one little lonely page that I've already glued previously, so it's a little bit thick. And for this job, it's thick enough. So all I'm going to do is get my hole punch. This is 1-inch hole punch, and punch out a hole, and then I'm just going to chop it in half and page tabs. So let's ink it. Now what you can do if you want is put one on each side of the thing, the journaling card you're making, and that'll make these a little bit stronger again because double thickness, which I think will do because I've got 2 pieces. So I might just use this glue. Still a bit wet, so it's trying to curl. And I want to decide which side I want the tab up. I think I like that one. Ink. Make sure I ink the right side. Right, I'm going to put a little trail of glue along the bottom of the tab and place it centrally. I'm just eyeballing centrally, and then on the other side I'll have this side. So I'm just going to bit of glue everywhere on this one. And line them up like so. So now I've got a little tab at the top of the page on both sides. Perfect. Right, next I want an image or an element of some description. Alright, I've got this little sheet, so let's grab this little fern here. Now, actually I've just thought if we're going to pop this in the band, let's make sure it's not too tall with our page tab. Alright, it's just slightly too tall, so I'm going to trim a little more off the bottom of the tag to fix that. Before I ink again, I'll just check that that's going to work this time. Perfect. Alright. Inking. Alright, so just going to pop this image in the middle. Yep. Like that. And I'm going to pop one of those little number things on my little page tab. like this one, and this one will fit, so let's put this one on. So I'm just going to pop it on the glue stick, then pop it on the page tab. Like that. I also like having this little border down the bottom like this one, but I think what I'll do is use this tape measure one. Actually just going to cut the tape measure out of the band altogether. Right. Yep, like that down there. So just going to find a piece of paper, a little bit of glue. Now look what I've done. Look what you did. I'll fix that in a second. I'm always doing that. I'm just too stingy to grab another piece of paper. I always end up ruining things by sticking it on glue. Right, you repair, please. A little bit of glue. Thank you. Gentle, gentle. Just like new. Alright, so I might do the lines now. So for that, I'm just going to turn my card sideways on my desk, on my cutting mat, and use that as a bit of a guide. So I'll probably only put 3 lines on. I'm going to put the ruler to match up with the lines, and I'm going to use this black pen. I'm going to start a little bit in from the edge, and every now and then I'm just going to lift the pen up a little bit and then end at the same part. So it gives me a bit of a broken line. Same for the next one, but I'm going to lift it up in different places. And then the last one, like that. So that's that side. Let's have a look at the other side now. So I think on this side, maybe we'll put one of these specimen labels. Like that. Glue page, fresh one. Like that. And then I think I'll get one of these little plant images here. that a little bit of ink on the edge to make it stand out a little more. Yep, just pop it there. Why not? And then I'm just going to fill in all the blank spaces with the lines. So there we have a little journaling card for our little pocket. Nice. We'll pop that in our band. So let's make one of these together. First thing I'm going to do is choose the large image for the front. So I'll just take this one. I'm just using a piece of dyed printer paper. So that, any tea dyed paper, coffee dyed paper, that'll work. Alright, well first thing I'm going to do is glue this picture onto the paper. So I'm just going to take a piece of scrap paper, some glue, and glue that on where I want it. So next I'm going to just fold this over where I want that to be cut. And then I'm just going to actually this side first, cut down this edge. Like so. And then this edge. Like so. So I end up with 2 strips. Trim that. Alright, so take your first one that's got your image on and fold it over so you've got roughly the same amount of space all around the image. Like so. And then fold the other way, matching the size of the top one. And then again. Like so. And then I'm going to glue on this piece. Like that. And stick it to this piece. Like that. Oops, and then I'm going to keep folding. Right, that last page isn't long enough, so I'm just going to trim that off. So we end up with this folded flip-flop paper like this. Now I've not met perfectly here, and when you fold it down you can see it kind of overhangs a bit, so in order to fix that we're just going to trim the edges off. Trim. And I want to make sure I get roughly the same gap on this side that I have on that side, so yeah, about there-ish. That'll do. Right, so now we just start decorating each little panel. I might just go cut out a few elements off camera and come back and just do the sticking them on part with you. We'll be back soon. Alright, now I've got a few images cut out. I'm going to start decorating the pages. So we've started with this one, so I don't want to copy it or do anything too similar, so I might do this ticket. And I'll pop it off to the side like this. Need a glue page. Need a glue page I haven't used. Just like that. And then for the rest of that little tab I'm going to put lines. So again I'm using my mat to line up where to draw the lines. Didn't draw at all. Like that. So that's that little block done. So then moving on to the next one, let's do this little image. Actually, what might make this a little easier is if we ink all the edges first, because then it will frame all our little boxes. So I'm just going to fold it up and ink along this edge, here, and here. And And then I'm going to fold each sheet the opposite way, like that, and do it again. Right, so let's take a look and see what kind of difference that's made. Yep, much easier to see where the little framed bits are for making the decorations in the right place. So now I was going to put that little element there. Like that. And maybe, what else have we got? That little word. Mary. What else have we got? I think we'll just go with this little word. There. Time for lines. Like that. I should probably just put the little line there. Like that. Right, next. Maybe that. Yep, let's do that. Let's get another page for gluing. Like that. Put this there, like that. And then I think maybe a little number, maybe down the bottom. Yeah, let's do that. Next, let's put this other ticket on this side. Too much glue. And pen. I'd love to know what everyone who's been making these has made with this kit. It'd be so cool to see what other people have come up with. Yep, I'm just going to do that. Oh look, glued on something already glued on. Is it salvageable? I think so. There we go. Get a clean glue sheet. Like that. And time for the lines. Like that. So that's one side done. Now, the thing I like about these is you can kind of hold it in one hand and open it and have some writing there, and then open it and have some writing there, and then same again. But if you're clever, you'll do it so that you don't have to change your hand or change position, and you're still just opening it. So this will be the top this time. So it's kind of upside down the opposite way on the other side. And I just like that sort of look, so that's what I'm doing. Big picture. And let's just put notes at the top and do lines. Try not to draw the lines on an angle. That. Then maybe let's do another big one. Glue paper. Okay. Then this sort of one. corner. Lines. Next, maybe just like that. Just like that. And more lines. And I think we'll just finish it off with this image. Centralize, please. Like that. Do we want to add something like a ticket? Nope, nope, I like it just how it is. Alright, so let's fold it all up. We start at the front, flip over, flip over, flip over, flip over, flip over, and flip over. Pretty. Alright, so that's the fun that I've been having with the mix and match mini journal kit. I hope you guys have been having fun with it too, and I'll see you again in the next video. Thanks, bye.